I do believe that we are live. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Hope everybody's
I do believe that we are live.
Let's take out that echo.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Hope everybody. I do believe that we are live.
Oh my. There we go. And we have a drawer, and I don't know why this is even on here. This needs to come off. There we go. Okay. So let's start off with everything. My name is Darren. Pleasure to meet everybody. And I have recently hit 100 subscribers. And just to let everybody know a little bit about me, I do travel a lot. And I have recently started here lately, past 4 years, started cruising. And I particularly like to stay with Carnival. That's the only one that I've actually cruised with. So in saying that, everybody has been watching my videos, and I'm over 100 subscribers. I know I've said it before in one of my past videos, but thank you so much. It's kind of awkward and weird to see that 100 people are watching me. It's cool all the same, I guess. But the reason for the Q&A this time is, one, just because I haven't really done anything live with you guys, and I know a bunch of people have been asking questions and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I want to try to fly through some questions that everybody's been asking me. I've had a specific person that has reached out to me with a list of questions, and his name, you might see him in the comments somewhere in my other videos, JSoFresh15. He's asked a bunch of questions as well. So I'm going to go through, and we're going to try to get through the video, get through these questions and answer them the best I can. And feel free, over here on the side is, actually it'd be over here, there is the chat window, and it is live chat. You will have to log in with your Gmail account. So, log in, and if you guys want to leave some ask me any questions you want, and I'll be able to see it, and then I'll answer them as we go through. And further ado, let's get to some questions. The first question that was brought up was 2 or more friends sharing a room. How do charges work? Okay, so when you're on the cruise ship, there's what's known as a sail and sign card. Your sail and sign card is life while you're on that ship. It is, think of it as your driver's license, your debit and credit card, your room key. It's everything mixed into one. And what you don't want to lose this card. You want to keep it on your possession at all times, everywhere you go, on and off the ship. So protect it like it's life. What you can do whenever you first make your cruise and book it, when you get closer to process, and after you figure out if you're driving, if you're flying, you get your passport, or if you're using your birth certificate and driver's license. However, there's a button on there that says check in. So when you go through the check-in process, it's going to have the option to where you can make a joint account, or you can opt in to having a individual account. The individual account, and there's 2 different types of accounts. One, you can put one on file, or a credit card on file, or a debit card, whichever one you want to use, and everything that gets charged to your sail and sign card will be automatically charged to your credit card or debit card that you have on file. Or option 2, you can get a cash account, and the cash account is basically a fixed balance rate. You can go down to the front desk or guest services, front desk, however you want to look at it. To me, it's front desk because I'm in the hotel industry. But you can go to the front desk, and let's say you want to put $300 in your account. So you would hand $300 to guest services. They'll note that on the account, and you can't go over that. So if it gets close to going out or whatever, the waiter or the waitress or whoever you're trying to charge with will let you know what your balance is, and they'll let you know if there's not sufficient funds. The only downside to this is that if you don't keep track of your account and how much money is in the cash account, you can't purchase anything or do anything until you go back to guest services and put more money on your cash account. That's the only way to, or you can transfer and tell them that you want to put a debit card or credit card on file, and then that opens up. The only downfall to a credit and debit card is that you got to watch what you spend, because credit cards do have a limit, and sometimes people go a little crazy. To me personally, I like to keep track of my money, so I do a cash account, and I will constantly go down and take money, but I'll usually settle up at the end of the night. And if I need to put more money on there for the next day, I'll put more money on there to cover me for the next day. So that's how that works. But you can do individual accounts to where one person has theirs and the other person has theirs if you're in the room, because it's all off that sail and sign card. The best way to find out is that when you get your sail and sign card, after you are going through the embarkation process, look at your folio number. It's a 4-digit number that's on the bottom right hand of the card. It's on the bottom right or the bottom left. I've been trying to find my cards, but I recently moved and I found everything but my old sail and sign cards to show you. But there's a 4-digit folio number on there. If the number is the same, then you guys are sharing an account. If you have 2 different folio numbers, then you're good. You have 2 separate accounts. That's the best way to look at it whenever you go to make sure that everything is done right. If it's not, and you have the same account number and you wanted individual accounts, then you can correct it right there at the front desk. Or as soon as you get on the ship in guest services, then you need to tell them as soon as you get on guest services. Okay, question number 2. Now I've got to find it. Where did it go? Struggle is real today, people. I'm so sorry. And I just had it. It's been a very long day today. Let's just do it this way. Okay, the next one that was asked was, how many pairs of shoes should I bring? Okay, I am not going to answer this for the women because it could be anything, really. But for me personally, I usually take 4 pairs. I have a black dress pair of shoes. I have a pair of sandals or flip-flops, because you have to have flip-flops. You're on vacation. A very good pair of comfortable walking sneakers or walking shoes, because if you're going hiking, you go on excursions, you're going to be doing a lot of walking. Plus, I'm also a runner and jogger, so, and there's an exercise layout that's on the ship, so that's where I'll do my jogging and stuff like that at. And I take a pair of water shoes, because if I go scuba diving or something like that, I'll take my water shoes with me versus my flip-flops, because they come off easier, and the water shoes don't have cotton in them like sneakers do, so I don't have to worry about them getting moldy or mildew or anything like that. You just hang them up to dry, because they're all rubber. It's nothing but rubber. So there's that. So I say, for me, I say 4 shoes, 4 pairs, and if there's anything past that, I don't know what I would use them for. Can you check how much you've spent on your card while on the ship? Yes, you can. There's 3 different ways to do it. You can check them on your TV, and there's another video that I have. If you click on here after the video and everything, you can go to, I believe it's my Liberty Cruise. Yeah, It was my Liberty Cruise cabin one. It was one of my recent ones. I think it's for room 1010. I show on there how you can check your folio about halfway through it, very briefly. And there's also a question on here about doing your laundry on board. Check that as well. You can do your laundry on board as well. So there's some information there too. But you can check it. You can either go down to guest services, which for me personally, I discourage people going to guest services, and it's not for anything bad. It's mostly because well, now what's going on now? Apparently it says that we have went offline. There we are. So it's not for anything bad or anything. It's because of guest services is already busy enough as it is with other stuff for, dealing with small complaints, whichever. But they have enough stuff that is busy for them right now. So if you can disregard from going to guest services unless you absolutely have to, then don't go there. But they can give you your readouts and print out your paperwork on how much you've spent. Or for me, I just think it's convenient just to go on the TV, and there's a button on there that says menu. So you'd push the menu button, and then you would enter your folio number. And then after you enter the folio number, you hit select. And if you have an individual account or a shared account, either one, it'll have your name. It'll have your name up there. So you'd go over, click on your name, and it'll show you a detailed list of every transaction that's happened on your card. And that's the nice thing too about having a shared account. Even if you have a shared account, you can still look at individual charges by that card, because the cards are designated specifically to that individual person. So they're coded individually, but you can still have a shared account on them. So it still makes it nice. Or on the Sunshine, I think it was on the Sunshine? It was on the Sunshine, and I believe that they had them on the Liberty too. They have these kiosks now to where you can walk up, and there was one that was outside of the fun shop, and there was another one that was downstairs right across from guest services. And it had, you just took your sail and sign card, swiped it, and then it gave you a bunch of options. You could go in there, and it has a laser printer that's underneath of it, and it prints and spits them out all at the same time. So you can do that too. If that's still down, and third option, you could go to guest services or just call them and ask them, middle of the night or whenever they're free, see if they'll deliver them to your room, or just let them know when it's convenient. That way they can have it printed, and you can just walk down there, pick it up, and walk back off. So that's a nice thing to do too. So you can do that. Do you have to sign up for the Cheers program on day one or at any time during the trip? Okay, the Cheers package has recently changed. I'll find a link and put it in this video in the bio once here in a little bit after we get done. So check back. But they recently changed it, and what you can do now is they included a bunch of things, but the way that it works still applies. You have to purchase the Cheers package either before or on the first sea day of your cruise. You can't buy it after the first day or anything like that. It has to be purchased before the first sea day of the cruise. Now, if you purchase day of cruise, it's, I believe, $55 a person while you're on the ship. If you purchase it beforehand, and you can do that going through the Fun Shop store on carnival.com, you can save $5 a day. It's $50. Then it becomes $50, and it's $50 per day for your cruise. So keep that in mind. And I believe that charge starts on the first sea day. So if you're on an 8-day cruise, then you'll get charged for 7 days for $350. But I'm kind of mixed, but with the new changes, I might actually consider getting the Cheers program because I haven't gotten it yet, just because I can't justify drinking that much for me personally. But it's vacation, and they've added a lot more stuff to it now. So, and you get the bubbles card and 15 free drinks per day from 6 to 6. But there's a value limit on how much you can spend. The next question was, can you carry your luggage to your room? I was a little bit confused on this one, so I'm going to answer to my best knowledge. Somebody feel free to jump in and say that I am wrong, because I'm very well maybe. You can carry your luggage on board with you to an extent. But for the most part, I believe that you can carry all of your luggage on board with you. When you get to the dock or to the pier, there's going to be, before you even enter the building, there's going to be a bunch of people that have big, large crates and everything, and they're going to have tags that you need to fill out with your name, your phone number, and your cabin number. So if you can get those on there and give them to them, then they'll deliver your luggage to your room once they sort through everything. But you can take your luggage on with you. However, you can't take it to your room until your room is ready, because stop and think about it for a minute. Everybody gets off the ship at a certain time. Everybody has to do a complete turnover, clean the ship, re-steam them, get all the rooms, and disinfect everything before you can go into your room. So, as soon as you get on the ship, the first thing you should probably do is just go to the Lido deck, get you something to eat, enjoy the cruise a little bit, buy you a beer, get you a drink, whatever. And then I usually just have my backpack and a carry-on. That's the only two things that I take on the ship with me. My actual luggage, I'll actually give it to the porters and let the porters take it up to the ship, and then the stewards deliver it to your room. So that's always that's a perk to that. I just let them do it. Just make sure that you, if there's anything fragile in there, that it's wrapped up so that it doesn't get busted or anything like that while you're bringing it in. Is it easy to get a ride to the beach from the port? Okay, now here's another thing that I'm going to bring up. And let me make this very, very clear, the best that I possibly can. The ship will leave you. And if you are not, I repeat, not on a Carnival excursion, then you need to do your research on the excursion to make sure that everything's legit, make sure that they've never been late coming back to port and everything. If you are not on a Carnival excursion, then you are not protected to make sure that you get back on the ship on time. Therefore, you are on free reign in your own free will, and you're responsible for making sure that you get back to the ship in a timely manner. You don't want to be one of the runners. We call them runners. That we're waiting for somebody to get on the ship. The horn has sounded on the ship and everything, and they've given their warnings. People will be hanging over the edge of the ship rails up on Lido and the panorama deck, waiting and just watching people run down the dock. It happens every cruise I've been on. You'll see them running down the dock, trying to run and hustle and everything else. And it's embarrassing, and two, you're just holding people up. But I'm not discouraging anybody, because I haven't used Carnival. I've used Carnival Cruise Excursions one time, just because the distance to get to the excursion was so far out that I wanted to make sure that they were waiting on us before we got back. So I have used them once. Every other time I haven't used them, just because I've trusted so much into the company that's doing the excursion. So it was all right. But to get back to it, when you get off the ship and everything, you come down the gangplank and you go through the port area. As soon as you walk out, there's going to be taxi cabs for days. They have a schedule. They know exactly what time that ship gets there, what ship it is, I wouldn't be surprised if most of them don't even know how many people are on that ship. They don't care, but they know that there is a ship coming and they're going to be there waiting on you. So leaving port, easy. However, if you want to get back to there, make sure that wherever you're going is within distance of the ship, and that there's a you know that how you can get you a taxi cab back, and make sure that you have some cash on you for the taxi ride so that you can get back. I mean, you can have your debit card, but I don't think they take debit cards. Some of them do, some of them might, just depends on what port you're at. But for the most part, try to keep some cash on you so that you can pay for it through cash, because that's how you'll do everything for the most part. Let's see. You can do laundry on the boat. There is laundry rooms scattered throughout, and there's irons that are there as well. Hello, Rebecca. Nice to meet you. Hope everything is going well. If you have any questions, feel free to comment over on the side. Anybody else that's watching, you'll have to log in with your Gmail account in order to chat over here on the chat thing right here. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions that you'd like. I'm just going down through a list of questions that have been given to me. I'm going to be on the Carnival Vista, but for the most part, I talk about Carnival cruise ships. So anything that has to do with Carnival or traveling or cruising in general, I will answer as best as I can. But if you have any questions about any of the ships, for that part, feel free to ask, and I will, if I don't know it, I will find it real quick and give you the answers that you need. Is it easy to get a, let's see, we did that one. Are there drinks on board that are free? I'll answer that video. I'll answer that in another video, because I'm going to talk about that in group activities, because there's some group activities that you can do, and that comes up in that. The computer stations. The computer stations are, I asked if they were free to use or not. There is limitations on what you can do for free on the computer stations. The computer stations that are on the ship will allow you access to the internal network to see the fun times, stuff like that while you're there. But if you want to get on the internet itself, then there is a fee to pay for that. They also have Wi-Fi. That's the social media package, I believe it is. And it's $5 a day, I think, for the social media package. It's very, very low. It only allows you access to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. And then if you want to do Skype or voice or something like, or video calls or something, then there's a higher premium one that you can pay a day if you want to do that. Okay, if you don't plan on spending much time in your stateroom, is it worth upgrading from an interior? So here's another thing to look at. If you've never cruised before, then your vacation is only going to be as fun as you make it. So if you spend a lot of time in your room, then sure, if you want something nicer and everything. I know people that get balconies on every one of their cruises just because they want their own private balcony and so forth. I've had a balcony room before. I liked it. Did I use it much? Not really, because I was mostly up on Lido. But it is nice to be able to sit out in privacy and enjoy it, because I do like to read while I'm on the ship. So if you want your quiet time and the Serenity Deck's full, and it was nice. And plus, on the balconies as well, one of them, when I had my balcony, woke up one morning and I saw dolphins jumping with the ship, as we were going through there. So that was kind of cool, and I got to see it firsthand. So that was nice. But if you're not planning on spending a lot of time to in your room, then I don't see the purpose of an upgrade, me personally. when I book my rooms, I look at what's in it, not what's about it. So my interior rooms, which is normally what I get, I'll get the higher class interior because it's a little bit bigger. Plus, it also has a couch and a table and everything. It's a little nicer. So I kind of like having the couch instead of sitting in the bed all the time. So if I want to go in there just to sit and chill for a minute, I like having the couch because I kind of feel homey a little bit, I guess. So yeah, to each their own, I guess. Can you get multiple access keys for one room? No. You can only get your sail and sign card that I told you about. Your sail and sign card is your room key. So since we know now that your sail and sign card is your room key, it's your debit card, and it's like your driver's license, you don't want to lose that. So you're only going to get one. If you do lose it, if you misplace it, if it's lost or stolen, then go to guest services immediately so that you can get the old one deactivated and the new one reinstated. And they'll probably end up giving you a new folio number as well. So if any of that happens, make sure you go to guest services immediately so that they can look at it, because it's an issue for you, but it's also a security issue as well, because since it serves as your driver's license, somebody else has access to that, getting on and off the ship, then it kind of throws everybody off. What are some sites I can go on to see rooms, etc.? I really want to take a cruise with my little family. Okay, so you can go to carnival.com, and it all depends on the ship. So you can go to, let's see, when you go to carnival.com, on the left side, there will be an explore button. And then if you hover over explore, you can go over to ships, and you can pick the ship that you're thinking about going on. And then it'll show deck plans, it'll show pictures, it'll show everything on there. And if you want to see a video of different types of cruise of rooms, then YouTube is a marvelous platform. I love YouTube. It's like completely because of this reason, because I learned so much from it. Go to you can search after the video's over with, or whichever. You can just type in Carnival and the ship, and it's your keyword that you're going to look for is cabin tour, and put that at the end, and it will show you. So if you want to see a balcony room, you'd put Carnival balcony cabin tour or something like that, and it will. People make videos of them all the time. I did a cabin tour of the interior that I was in on the Liberty on room 1010. Well, 10010. So it wasn't one like level 1. It was level 10. But yeah. So I mean, you can see that too. I mean, it's just depends on what you liked. But like the one I just described for the balcony, that was a balcony room for 1010. So if you want to check that out, that's on my videos as well. You're very welcome, Rebecca. Is using your cell phone expensive? Okay, there's a couple different things to look at on your cell phone. First of all, the only way that you can use your cell phone, if you choose to, is to have global English is hard today. Is global roaming, and you have to have a smartphone. For Verizon, now these may have changed, but for Verizon, you can get the global plan prorated. Prorated is a very secret word when you use that with people. You can get it prorated for the length of your cruise from X to Y, and they will charge you based on that amount. For a week of proration for global access is around, I think it was $30 to add that to my plan. So you can do that if you choose to. AT&T, I'm not sure of, or anything like that. But keep in mind, though, too, if you're using Verizon, which that's one of my carriers because I have two phones, but if you go to places like Puerto Rico, when I was in San Juan, is considered domestic area. So I was using my phone for free in Puerto Rico, and I didn't have a data plan or anything like that. So it was very, very nice to have this so that I could talk, and since it's considered part of U.S. territory, I wasn't charged for it because I wasn't roaming. The best way to tell that if you're roaming or not is you'll have a little triangle up in the top part of your title menu, and it'll let you know if you are roaming or not. If that little triangle's there, then you're roaming. Make sure you're in what they consider U.S. territory, and if you are, then you should not be getting charged for it. But double check with your cell phone provider, and they'll let you know if it's available or not. Another really good thing about it is that iPhones do this a lot. Since they have FaceTime, you can also do voice calls from iPhone to iPhone. Because I just answered a question about this earlier this week for somebody. If you have an iPhone and you're calling iPhone to iPhone, basically all you need to do is find Wi-Fi. And if you get off port, if you get off the ship and you go off of the pier and you go like into the little area right there, if you make friends with the crew members, and they'll let you know where Wi-Fi is at. And as soon as you get off of the ship, if you see a bunch of people hurled around a little coffee shop or a smoothie place, I guarantee you there's Wi-Fi there. Some of them may say that you have to go in and you have to purchase something, and they'll give you Wi-Fi for X amount of minutes for free with a little password. So you just go in there and you log on to that. And that's how I call home. I'll go and check in and buy a smoothie, and I'll sit there for about 5 minutes, call home, make sure everything is all right, and then I turn everything back off because I'm on vacation. That's the one thing I can go to, and this is the reason why I cruise, is because there's no signal in the middle of the ocean, and I love it. Best thing ever. And let's see. Can you upgrade rooms later in the ship or later in the trip? No. Let me take that back. If there's room available, maybe, but the manifest is created. The ships already know who's going to be in what room, and the ships may be sold out. So you may be stuck right there where you're at. So best thing to remember is get what you want before you leave and get on the ship, because you're pretty much going to be stuck there. And I'd almost guarantee that they're not going to change anything so that you can upgrade to a different room, unless, heaven forbid, something happens to your room and you have to move. But if that happens, they usually have backup rooms that they can move people into just in case of an emergency situation. Do the air conditioners in the rooms work well? This is another good thing about having a balcony, I guess, because if it's too cold or if it's too hot and your air conditioner isn't working very well, you could open up your balcony door, let some fresh air. Excuse me. You could open up your balcony door, let some fresh air in real quick, and be completely fine. That way it cools it down. As long as the ship is moving, the air conditioner usually works pretty well. However, when the ship is in port and it's not moving, not so much. So, it's to each their own. Some of the older ships have been upgraded for their AC units, so they're a little bit better. The newer ships, when I was on the Sunshine wasn't bad. It actually stayed pretty cold, but as soon as I walk in, I'm very hot natured, so I love the cold to keep me comfortable. I've actually got the door shut right now. It's windy as I'll get out right now outside, and I shut the door so that I could talk to you guys so you guys wouldn't hear the wind noise. But as soon as this is over, that door's coming back open. I promise you. As soon as I walk into my cabin, that's the first thing as I do is the thermostat. It's usually on the left side whenever you walk in the door. I will go straight to that thermostat, and I'll go ahead and I'll crank it all the way down, and I won't touch it until I leave. I turn it all the way down as cold as it'll get, and I leave it there. So they do work, and you can bring a fan with you, but you have to carry it with you, and it can't be like huge, but if you have like if you have a small fan, you can bring it with you and hook it up. Are there any 24/7 areas or services on the ship? Pizza for days. That's all I'm going to say. It's pizza for days. I am not on a cruise right now. No, I'm actually in my living room. My next cruise is February 11th, 2017, and I will be traveling on the new Carnival Vista, which I am completely excited about. And if you would like some information about booking on that, I'm part of a group right now that does have some discounted rates, and it's a whole bunch of fun. It's a good group of people. So if you do want to join in on that cruise, then feel free to let me know, and I will contact you best way I can and talk to you about it that way. But yeah, I'm excited because the Vista being the new ship, it looks so awesome. But there is 24/7 services on the ship. Pizza, pizza, pizza. And what more could you go wrong with pizza? It's got all 5 food groups. You got dairy, you got meat, you got your vegetables, you got your grain, and whatever your other one is. But it's got everything. Love it. That is, the pizza place is usually open all the time. Room service is available 24/7. So if anything that has to do with food is usually open 24/7. Front guest services at the front desk, they're there 24/7. Let's see, the spa closes. The casino is open 24/7, and except for when we get closer to ports, they're not. The casino is only open while you're in international waters. So as soon as you get on the ship, the casino is not going to be open. As soon as you go to port, or start getting closer to port of your destination, they're actually going to start turning all the slot machines off, and you won't be able to play them until you get back into international waters after you get done with that port that day. But yeah, there are a few things that are open. The fitness center is free. The fitness center, excuse me. Most people don't know that the fitness center is free, but it is. Carnival does encourage exercise and everything else, so they're not going to keep that from anybody. The reason most people don't think it's free is because it's with the spa, and you have to go through the spa to get into it. But if all you got to do is walk up to the spa desk, and if you need a locker, just let them know that you need a locker. They'll give you a locker key. You can go back in there, go work out, do whatever you want to, and then come back and then head back out. Some of them have steam rooms and saunas. Sometimes those are free, sometimes they are not. I think it was on the Sunshine. The Sunshine had a steam room and a sauna, and they were free. Yeah, they were free whenever I was on there. It was included with the fitness center. So I thought that was kind of cool because I took advantage of the steam room. And it was very, very relaxing. Is there anything worth watching on the TVs in the staterooms? Okay, so I couldn't find my Sail Inside cards to show you, but I did find something else. I don't have the one from the Freedom. It's down. It's still packed up. I'm still trying to find it. This little perk and this 24-karat piece of ship on a stick. It's plastic, but it's pretty funny when you hear them say it. You can see all kinds of stuff on the TVs, and the TVs, there's always a morning show with the cruise director, and they do trivia, they do call-ins, they do shout-outs, they do all kinds of stuff, and it's usually about a 30-minute video or 30-minute show that's on every morning. And they have a live audience, so you can know where you're there. If you want to participate in the live audience with them, you can do that too. It's kind of fun. But they'll ask trivias and stuff like that, so you could win prizes. I won they had a captain's trivia on the first ship that I was on, and I won a photo album, this beautiful ship on a stick, and a medal, which is really cool. I don't know how well you guys can see it or not, but it says Carnival on it. It's got a picture of that, and this is it's metal, and it says "Fun for all for fun," which is their motto. Everybody is there to have a good time because you're on vacation. You're supposed to have a good time, but you can win stuff like that. You can also watch preview. You can watch the like the shows. You can watch the shows that happen the night before. Sometimes they'll post those on there. They also have movies. Whenever it's movie day, you can go back to your room and watch movies. It's usually the same movie. Whatever's on the big screen Teletron thingy at Lido for Seaside. I think it's called Seaside Movie Theaters. Or Seaside Theater. Yeah. Whatever movie's on there, you can pick that up in your room as well. So if you don't want to sit out there and you want to just relax in your room, you can watch movies, whatever's playing there. Makes it really nice. Can you use the mini fridge for personal items? Is there a hospital on board? Yes, you can use the mini fridge for your own personal stuff. Whenever you get to your room and after it's ready and you're settled in and everything, you're going to have your cabin steward who is going to come to your room. They're going to introduce themselves, ask you if everything is good, if you need anything, whatever. This is the time where you need to tell them that you would like to use your fridge. And what they will do is they'll take it. It's usually stocked with beer and alcohol and stuff that you can buy a la carte. Nothing in that refrigerator is free, nor is the bottle of water that has a little tag on it. Most people think that it's there and you can just drink it. If you drink it, then at the end of the night or the next day when the steward comes in to do turn down or whatever, they're going to see that you drink something out of that fridge and they're going to charge you for it because it's missing, therefore you're responsible. So yeah, but if you don't want it, then you can tell them they'll empty the refrigerator, and it's not very big. It's only, I think that you can lay a 20 ounce on its side. Yeah, you can lay a 20 ounce on its side, and that's how deep it is. It's not very deep at all. And then I think that you can put maybe 3 cans in the fridge. It's just a little college refrigerator. I mean, it's super tiny. But yeah, you can use that. Now, is there a hospital on board the ship? It's not a full hospital. It's basically an advanced doctor's office. There is one on every ship. There are physicians there on every ship, and they can take care of most things. If it's something that is super, super bad, and there is a true medical emergency, they can bring helicopters in. There is a helipad on every ship. They have to, per maritime authority, they have to have that. So they can, if there's a true medical emergency, they can fly people off of the ship, or they'll wait till they get to port and take them to the nearest hospital. In saying that, this is why I have a passport versus a birth certificate, driver's license, or passport card. My passport allows me to fly out of the country, no matter where I'm at. A birth certificate and a driver's license, since you are in a closed port, whenever you leave on most cases, like let's say Miami, you leave from Miami, you come back to Miami, that's considered a closed port. If you go anywhere, if something happens to you while you're out there and you only have a birth certificate and a driver's license, then you cannot fly out of the country without having a passport, because the customs won't allow you to do it because you don't have it. However, you can get in on and off the ship with a birth certificate, and you can go on a cruise with just a birth certificate and a driver's license or a passport card. But your passport, the book, the one that has the pages in it, will actually allow you, in case something happens, that you can go through customs with that passport and leave the country. The only other way that you could be able to leave the country in the state of an emergency is you would have to find the closest embassy, U.S. embassy, whenever you're there on port, and you would have to talk to them. That's the only way that you could do it if you need to fly back in an emergency. can you add a person to your trip after you've booked? Yes, you can. I have actually done that. I'm doing it on this cruise. So I've already booked, and I had a friend of mine that wanted to go too. I'm single, I'm by myself, so I said, sure, what the hell. The room that I have, in most rooms you can take, it has 2 twin beds, or you can convert them into 1 king. At the time, I had 1 king. They wanted to go, so I said, sure, okay. I went in, changed my booking real quick, changed it to 2 twins, and I called my travel agent, said, hey, so-and-so wants to join me. They said, okay. And we split the cost 50-50. They're paying for theirs, I'm paying for mine, and they got added to the ship. It's kind of cool. But yes, you can. Can I explain the pricing for the drinks? Examples: sodas, a shot, mixed drink, water. Okay. Water, if you get bottled water is charged right now. Since they changed the food and beverage policy, well, the beverage is not the food and beverage, it's the beverage policy, which I made a video on that one too. You can go see that press release. But they changed the beverage policy, and you can now buy, the 16x9 bottles, like you put your singles in. You can buy those by the 12-pack case right now for $2.99 a case. So I drink a lot of water, so I actually bought 2 cases of water that I'm going to be taking with me it'll be in my room waiting for me. Most drinks on the ship, domestic beers are about $5.50, $5.75. Imports, I think, are $6.25. Mixed drinks can be anywhere from $8 to $13 per drink, and that's not including gratuity. Every drink that you buy, everything that you buy for a drink is going to be added automatically. You can't choose and you can't take it back off. Is a 15% gratuity to every waiter, waitress, anybody, bartender. That when you order a drink, there's an automatic 15% gratuity that gets added to that right off the top, plus tax. So you can't get out of that any way, what, shape, or form. In saying that, the shots, I'm not sure how much the shots are because I haven't really gotten a shot, but no, I take that back. I have. I think they're about the same. A shot's the same price as a domestic or an import. I think it's about $6.25, $6.50. In saying that, for the gratuities, no, I'll keep that one to myself. I apologize. I don't want to start a war with that remark. But if you want to know about gratuities, let me know and I'll talk to you privately about it. Is it better to do everything yourself or through a travel agent? Depends. I've been on 4 cruises. This will be my 5th cruise. No, I've been on 3 cruises. This will be my 4th cruise. And I have done it myself with the help of my sister, who I love dearly so much. I've done it by myself. This last cruise that I'm going on for the Carnival Vista, I went through a travel agent. And this travel agent has been somebody that I have known for a couple of years now. And she set me up on a huge rate. I'm saving $500 right now just off of the cruise. Compared to what the cruise rates are right now, I've saved $500 easily off the top of that. And most travel agents will, they have a perk that goes along with you going cruising with them. They can have free cocktail parties. They might have a gift for you in the room for thanking you for joining them or their booking agency and going through them. It's a lot of different things. Just if you go through a travel agent, ask them what the perks are. Make sure you do your research. Don't feel obligated to sign something right then and there. And most travel agents too, if you find if you find the exact same thing that's cheaper, they'll usually match it. But if you feel free to talk to a travel agent. That's completely up to you. But don't feel obligated to sign the paperwork until you've done your research, so that you know that you're getting the best deal. Because man, after all, I know people have got to get paid. That's how they make a living too. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're having a good time without breaking the bank, and we don't want any of that to happen. So I mean, yeah, just ask. Just feel free to ask them. Ask them what perks they get, or is there anything that they get out of it, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you have. They're very obligated because they're trying to make. They want to make a sale just like as hard as you want to go on vacation. So yeah, feel free to ask them. Can me and a friend share a room but have separate sale and sign cards? Yes. So going back to the question where we did earlier about how do the room charges work, same concept. Is there a limit to how many times you can eat for free? No. No. When that Lido deck opens up and for the lunch buffet, I am all over that like white on rice. And Guy Fieri's burgers, the French fries are amazing. I love the French fries. I'm a potato fiend. I love potatoes. So their French fries are I'm getting hungry now just thinking about them. But yeah, you can go back to the buffet as many times as you want, eat as much as you want. Just remember that it's going to catch back up to you. I promise you. Every time I go on a cruise, I'm usually working it back off because it lingers, and it just, yeah, it'll be there. But if anybody else has any questions or comments or anything, if you guys would like to know anything in regards to my next cruise that I've got coming up, once again, I'll be on the Carnival Vista, February 11th, 2017. If you want to know more information about that, I'll have my email address down in the link below. Check out the comments or see if there's anything that was missed over there. If you have any questions whatsoever, yeah, like I said, email me, let me know. Anybody, if you have any other questions, and if you have a bunch of questions, feel free to send me a list, just like JSoFresh15 did. You know, that was mostly his list, and he asked all those questions, and hope I answered all the questions that you wanted. There are some on there that I will talk to you about through email, just because of conflict and copyright issues and stuff like that. So I'll be more than happy to talk to you about those. And if you got like him, if you have a list, email them to me. I'll go to a live show, talk to you, however you want to do it, and we'll answer them together. Until then, I hope everybody is having a good weekend. Today's Sunday, so gotta go back to work tomorrow. And I think I'm at 342 days left, 343 days left, something like that. So the countdown begins. Until then, I'll catch you on the flip side. Have fun, be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!